This week we head to Tokyo for the World of Tanks Pacific Rumble. We get a bit cultured as we check out Pokémon Symphonic Evolutions, and in our final episode for this season, we take a look back at the year that was 2015. This is Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this week we are full of bad news. First up, Deus Ex Mankind Divided has been delayed. You'll now have to wait an additional 6 months before finding out what's going on with Adam Jensen. It won't be ready until August 2016. The team at Eidos explains the delay is because Eidos Montreal has discovered the game needs just a little more time in post-production, with a special focus on tuning, iterations and refinement to meet the studio's high standards. It's a similar story from 3D Realms and Interceptor Entertainment, who have confirmed that Bombshell won't quite reach its 2015 release window. Instead, the isometric ARPG will be arriving on PC, PS4 and Xbox One from January 29, 2016. And more bad news, it seems the idea of Minecraft on Wii U really was too good to be true, with the game's mysterious entry in a European rating database disappearing as quickly as it arrived. It wouldn't be the first time the game has appeared on a console, but it would be the first console release after Microsoft bought developer Mojang, so it could have been a very interesting proposition indeed. Developer Hideaki Miyazaki has explained that Dark Souls 3 will be the last in the series, saying that he doesn't think it would be the right choice to continue making Souls and Bloodborne games indefinitely. He says he feels Dark Souls 3 is an important marker in the evolution of From Software, and says we should expect new things from the studio. Moving on to happier news, we have a blast from the past. Pure Ownage, the cult favourite Canadian web series, is back with an entire movie.
And we're back! Welcome to the North American League of Legends Finals. And I'll tell you what, Demon, something tells me that today is going to be pure ownage.
Yeah!
How'd you like to be a professional gamer? The paychecks, the world travel, the Twitter followers.
$1 million!
Okay, so who wants to be on the best team? Anyone here like winning and money? I need 3 more people that like money and winning.
Jeremy. He must be excited for the big game.
Topow!
2-0 in the lead, just one step away from the victory. This right here is history in the making.
I do the shot calling. No one calls engage but me.
It was a clean ace.
And I have to burn my flash. Can I get my flash back? You got some extra flashes around here?
You can try another game, you know. Why not an FPS? Thanks, Steve.
Like what you see? After 3 years in development, we don't have to wait long now. The world premiere of Pure Ownage, a movie, will hit Toronto, Canada on January 23, 2016, with a live streaming tour planned to follow. Meanwhile, believe it or not, Beyond Two Souls is out right now for PS4. The new version enjoys a handful of tweaks and improvements over the PS3 release, including increased difficulty in a certain fight scene, enhanced 1080p graphics, a way to compare your decisions with those made by other players, and the much requested chronological order option. Quantic Dream is also releasing a similarly upgraded version of Heavy Rain on March 1st.
Jody, what have you done?
Also launching very soon is the latest Don't Starve expansion, Shipwrecked, which hits Steam Early Access on December 1st. If you can't wait that long, Crytek does have a new one out right now, Back to Dinosaur Island. It might not be a game, but it is a super shiny virtual reality tech demo that is definitely worth your time, as long as you have an Oculus Rift dev kit too. Australia's Manor Bar may have closed its doors early this year, but its legacy lives on in another country on the other side of the world. A new cafe and restaurant, Nerdvana Food and Spirits and Nerdvana Coffee Shop, is opening early next year in Texas, downstairs from Gearbox Software's new home and just around the corner from the US National Video Game Museum. The idea is the brainchild of Christy Pitchford, who came up with the idea while her husband, Gearbox founder Randy Pitchford, was away on long business trips. One of those trips took him to Brisbane, Australia, where Gearbox showcased the infamous Duke Nukem Forever at the local Manor Bar, a cocktail bar and video gaming lounge. The end result has been described as a hard rock cafe celebrating games instead of music and is set to open in March 2016. There's a little console war going on again this week, as Sony announces plans for the ability to play PS2 games on your PS4. We don't know too many details about just what it's actually working on right now, but Microsoft has been quick to point out just how simple its backwards compatibility functionality really is. And in our final bit of video game movie news for the year, the Tomb Raider reboot has a brand new writer, a new director, and a new spark of life, as the project's seemingly laid dormant for the past few years. The film promises to tell the story of Lara's first adventure, even though we're not sure if it's the one shown on the island of Yamatai in the 2013 rebooted game. Norwegian director Roar Uthaug is now on board, and despite an impressive list of films to his name, Tomb Raider would actually be his first English language project. Geneva Robertson Dvoret is writing this one, fresh from co-writing duties on Transformers 5, so we're definitely intrigued to see where it all goes. Of course, the coveted role of Lara Croft herself is still up for grabs. It's been 15 years since Angelina Jolie first donned the combat boots, so it's high time for some new talent. Wish lists abound. Alexandria Daddario from San Andreas, Gemma Arterton from Prince of Persia, Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black, and Hunger Games star Jennifer Lawrence seem to be popping up a lot. For more information on any of these stories or to keep up to date with the latest gaming news, head to playerattack.com. But for now, stick around, we've got plenty more still to come.
Well, it's about that time of year again when we look back at the year that's passed and think, wow, have I really wasted another year of my life? Or perhaps instead we could recollect what's happened this year in gaming. That seems like a much better idea. So using the time machine that is our collective memory, and in my case Wikipedia, let's jump back to the beginning of 2015. Like many things in life, nothing noteworthy ever happens in the first couple of months of a shiny new year. Unless you had a birthday, in which case, I kinda redact that previous statement. Once March rolled around though, the industry at large awoke again, for the better and for the worst. So let's start with the good. Old school pen and paper RPG fans were treated to the spectacular Pillars of Eternity through Obsidian Entertainment, and PC fans finally got GTA 5. Do you guys remember how good that felt? Good, keep that in mind for just the next minute. These first few months also saw the closure of some really prevalent studios, namely 2K Australia, responsible for Bioshock 2 and Borderlands the pre-sequel, and the headquarters of Maxis Studios. Oh, and then there was Konami. Pulling their best Tara Reid impression, Konami continued to make terrible life choices, cancelling the hotly anticipated Silent Hills, being center stage in the Kojima Konami debacle, and also going as far as to remove themselves from the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, let's turn those frowns upside down, as the mid-year also brought the release of CD Projekt Red's The Witcher 3, which totally kicked ass, and Nintendo's Splatoon. Pretty much the only entry this year from the big N, Splatoon saw you taking control of adorable squid folk and engaging in all-out ink-based warfare. Don't think it was big? Google it. Only with the safe search on. Now the real hook of mid-year, Fallout Shelter on iOS. And E3 2015, I suppose. Seriously, the show this year was one of the best in a long time, for a few reasons. Firstly, we got a sneak peek at the sequels and revamps that folk had dreamed about for ages. Dishonored 2, Doom, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Uncharted 4, XCOM 2, a fucking HD remake of Final Fantasy VII, and that's just to name a few. The real hook though? There were new games announced. New ones! Horizon Zero Dawn brought a very different post-apocalyptic view with robo-dinosaurs. Cuphead revived the side-scrolling magic of an era gone by, and I still have to steady myself for this one. Sony reminded me of the magic in this young girl's heart and confirmed The Last Guardian. But the real star of the show? A tiny red doll made of string called Yanni. Unravel blew away everyone as soon as it was announced. A puzzle platformer focused on a heartfelt journey with motifs for repairing the ties that bind us? From EA of all people? Just go ahead and color me surprised and excited. Oh, and how could I forget VR? VR had a huge presence at this year's E3. Obviously Oculus were there, but there was also Sony VR and the HoloLens, and they made the biggest waves. The software on the PlayStation VR was awesome, with Sony showcasing everything from the action and spaceflight titles to being tied to a chair and accosted by a creepy knife-wielding specter. the peripheral support for this new platform was also wicked strong, with everything from 3D treadmills to Minority Report-esque VR gloves. Okay, so we're almost up to now. So what's happened lately? Metal Gear Solid 5 happened, that was a big deal, and there was also that post-apocalyptic game too. That's right, Mad Max. But in all seriousness, there is no denying that 2015 will be looked back on as the year Fallout 4 dropped. Love it or hate it, the game has sold over 2 million units on PC alone, and is a spectacular gaming experience. Somewhat overshadowed by Fallout, Lara's latest grave-robbing expedition, Rise of the Tomb Raider, hit Xbox Ones, Mario Maker exposed people's creativity, and Star Wars fans got to absolutely decimate their favorite cinematic locations with Laserfire and Star Wars Battlefront. And before we look towards the future of 2016, a moment and a golf clap for the yearly outings offered by Halo, Assassin's Creed, and Call of Duty. Well done, you little champs. So what do the early months of 2016 hold for us? Well, just a little bit about everything really. Into strategy games and Heartbreak? Get amped for XCOM 2 in February. Down for indiscriminate murder? Then maybe The Division or Hitman will tickle your fancy. If you feel like mixing up your murder with an old school vibe, and I'm talking Platonic Epoch here, Far Cry Primal is right up your alley. And if you have a PS4 or scored one in Christmas/gift day, then boom, you've got Street Fighter V and Uncharted 4 to consider throwing your money at. Hopefully 2016 will work on the good precedents set by this year, focusing on new and exciting IPs and innovative ways to play, and less on remaking generation-old games in HD, so you can relive the disappointment all over again. And I am looking at you, Beyond Two Souls.
I'm the guy who likes to get shot first.
My team is Noble eSports. We've been playing in the professional scene since it first started in 2013, and now we are the champions of North America.
When we started this team, I can't say we were expecting to be in Japan specifically, but we hold ourselves to high regard.
Playing against teams that you're not completely familiar with can always be a little bit, unusual, but at the same time, we've played several teams, at least a dozen teams this season alone. So the idea of just playing one or potentially two more that we've never faced before is not overwhelmingly frightening. It's just another couple that you can add to the list.
I would say our first major obstacle was dealing with our first loss as a team during season. And we had to overcome that a bit, and we did, and then we didn't lose again the rest of the season.
As far as jitters or any nervousness in front of a crowd, I think everyone on my team is going to be perfectly fine and calm.
We practice a lot. Sometimes 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours at night, twice a day.
The World of Tanks Pacific Rumble saw the 2 best North American teams versus the 3 best Asian teams coming together in an event designed to promote the game across both regions. Noble Gaming and High Voltage Cabalas came over to Tokyo from North America, where they clashed with Japan's Karin Tiger, Korea's Kongdu, and China's EL Gaming, named the second best team in the world at this year's Grand Finals.
You got to respect results. You don't find out these results on paper. These guys really have to play. EL Gaming, probably the champions in the Asian region. You got to respect what they did in the Grand Finals, international stage, knocking off a couple of champions in RU and EU. So I think NA comes in as underdogs to this event.
And now we have the finals. It is Noble versus EL Gaming for a shot at $45,000 and the title of the Pacific Rumble champion.
Asia teams will only be famous in Asia, and North American teams will only be famous in America. So this time around, we are trying to have this merge to have a cross competitiveness so that we can see the performance and the acceptance of the different region in each individual region itself.
The past 12 months have seen some pretty big changes to the World of Tanks esports setup. The structure of the games has changed completely after audiences complained that matches would end in almost constant stalemate draws. The new attack-defense style means that no matter how a game plays out, someone has to win, making for a more exciting, more enjoyable game to watch.
First of all, the biggest changes were made when we took the attack-defense mode and 2 bases, so we kill the draw, and we force teams to have the better entertainment for the players. With the map pools and this stuff, we are testing. We're always testing the map pools and the maps with the professional players, taking the feedback from the community, taking the stats from the overall from the user base, and this all impacts to the average time watched, so the people are watching us more, and I can tell you that if we are comparing nowadays stats and the 1 year ago, we've got 2.5 times bigger average time watched for the unique viewer.
This is representative of a growing and necessary trend in esports around the world. As audiences expand, there is a shift away from the hardcore gamers, meaning that the games themselves need to change and evolve to be more interesting for newcomers and more casual viewers, and to hold their interest. Even at the Pacific Rumble, we saw another major change. While the competition was played with the Tier 8 models that have been used for the past year, Noble and EL Gaming also showed off an exhibition match of the new Tier 10 mode, which will be used in 2016. The reception from both the audience and the players is that Tier 10 is a much-needed shake-up for the organisation. If the weekend's matches were anything to go by, the new seasons will be faster, more exciting and far more enjoyable for everybody to watch, whether they are World of Tanks fans or completely new to the concept of professional gaming or esports in general.
Another thing we've done is a platform called BattleViewer, battleviewer.com. And what it is, we're trying to expose how global the Wargaming League scene is. So when you go to this one website, you can see the broadcast from every other region.
With companies like Blizzard, Riot Games and Wargaming coming together to make esports more of a spectator sport, the future looks bright. It's a major mind shift for organisers as they start to realise the viewers are just as, if not more important than the players, meaning that the games will continue to change and evolve to make things fun to watch, not just fun to play. With the vast population now playing video games in one form or another, it is inevitable that esports will find the balance between sport and entertainment that will eventually bring it into the mainstream. It's now a matter of when, not if. This year, we saw just 1 hour of professional video games on Fox Sports in Australia. Next year, we're hoping to see just a few more.
So when I started playing World of Tanks, I never thought I'd actually get to travel the world. For me, it was just a hobby, and it turned out into something pretty serious, and now I get to travel and see the world.
All too often, the only people attending live music events involving a woodwind section are the silver-haired crowd looking to get their fill of higher-brow artistic culture, which is why it's so refreshing to see an event where the average audience age is somewhere between 18 to 30 years old. Looks like all you need to do to attract the young folk is have classical orchestra playing music lifted directly from video games. In this case, each generation of Pokémon.
Join us for Pokémon Symphonic Evolutions as it brings the music of the Pokémon franchise to life like never before.
Despite cancelling a planned Perth show, Pokémon Symphonic Evolutions delighted crowds at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre, the Adelaide Festival Theatre and the Sydney Opera House, with all concerts under the baton of American conductor and orchestrator Susie Sita, who has toured with the program across the United States since August 2014. The event is more than just a stuffy orchestra concert too. The Festival Centre's green room was packed with an assortment of gaming activities and historical Pokémon memorabilia on display. Crowds of people, both young and not so old, gathered around a Super Smash U setup, an N64 playing Pokémon Stadium, and the entertaining trivia challenge situated at the bar. Between all of this was a display cabinet full of Pokémon games from as early as the original Game Boy entries, with special edition consoles all the way up to the recent console releases.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause.
If you weren't firmly in the mood to catch them all, once the theatre doors opened and people took their seats, a few casual rounds of Who's That Pokémon were projected onto the screen above the stage. And you'd better believe the audience recognised the familiar silhouettes of Charmander, Squirtle, Bulbasaur and Pikachu. The music itself was breathtaking, starting with the first generation games and playing all the way through to end of Pokémon X and Y. As was announced before the first piece started, projected above the stage was captured footage that began with creating our character, choosing our starter Pokémon, with huge cheers from the audience when each was displayed, and leaving Pallet Town. The entire visual narrative was endearingly accompanied by the orchestra, with some stunning solos, and momentarily interspersed with digital percussion. The epic climax to Pokémon Black and White sent shivers through the audience. As a nice nod to the fans, Sita encouraged audiences to sing along with the first encore, Gotta Catch 'Em All, while the second piece was an emotional rendition of Kiseki, the end theme of Pokémon X and Y. The last game-centric orchestral concert to hit Adelaide was Distant Worlds music from Final Fantasy, which the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra played in 2012. And it's a real pity that we've had to wait 3 years for more of this sort of thing. Other states have enjoyed more recent game music events, like at last year's PAX saw the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra play with Tripod in a tribute to video games. And earlier this year, Video Games Live made its debut in Sydney and Melbourne. But as a whole, Australia's largely ignored the magic that happens when you blend orchestral music with video games. The atmosphere in Adelaide was as jubilant and enthusiastic as anyone would expect from a pop culture event such as this, which goes to show that there's definitely a market for catering to younger people and speaking their language. So, thank you to the Adelaide Art Orchestra for taking on the show and making it such a wonderful experience. Thank you to the Melbourne Pops Orchestra and Sydney Symphony Orchestra for picking it up as well. Thank you to Susie Sita for bringing the concerts to Australia, and thank you to Nintendo and Pokémon for creating such memorable musical experiences. Here's hoping more professional orchestras down under will consider filling the huge demographic void just waiting to be played to.
Visit Pokemon.com/symphony for tickets and information.
And that's about it for this edition of Player Attack. Thanks for watching. Next week, we are taking some time off. This is the 38th episode of Player Attack for 2015, so we're a bit exhausted and looking forward to spending some time playing some video games, as well as getting out of the sunshine and enjoying summer away from the PC and the consoles. Don't worry though, we have put together a collection of our favourite interviews, previews and reviews, and they will be screening each week until we get back. Plus, of course, playerattack.com will still be updated over the summer break. We are still on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter, and if you want to send us a Christmas card, you can do that, mailbox@playerattack.com, or just hop on our forums. Thank you to everyone who supported this season of Player Attack, all of the game developers, publishers and event organisers, and of course all of you for watching. It's been a big year for Player Attack and we couldn't have done it without you. Here's to a great 2015 and looking forward to an even better 2016. Till next year, I'm Jessica Citizen and this is Player Attack.